Have you ever known leaders that appear to be sabotaging their own success or the success of their organization? Unfortunately, you don't have to look far to see that. And I've given it some thought, and I think there are three things that I see repeatedly that could be impediments. They could be barriers keeping you from the success that you want and deserve. So let me give you a quick review of three things to look out for. The first we call swimming in quicksand. This is a product of some recent work that my team and I have been doing around leadership effectiveness, and there'll actually be a book coming out next year called Smart Leadership. And the situation is one that I think virtually every leader around the world can understand. This quicksand is not something that we created, but it's something that we're forced to cope with and to deal with. The problem with swimming in quicksand is not that you can't survive, but you're not going to win any gold medals swimming in quicksand. And that quicksand is made of complexity, increasing demands, increasing expectations, limited resources, personal pressures, all the things in the world that are out of our control. But what is in our control is our response to the quicksand. And so I think leaders need to try to get out of it. I mean, nobody went into it consciously, but a lot of us have decided to stay there because we may not know how to get out. But that's the first challenge that most leaders around the world are facing. They just haven't figured out how to extricate themselves from the quicksand of their day-to-day reality. The second mistake I see a lot of leaders making, and even before I say it has a lot to do with the optimistic spirit. The best leaders are optimists. Now, you may know some pessimistic leaders. There probably aren't a lot that are extremely successful because we're trying to help people see a better future. And if you're a pessimist, it's hard to figure that out. But that optimism is a two-edged sword. I think leaders can overestimate the health, vitality, and engagement of their people. And I think that's a real problem because we don't then spend enough time, generally speaking, on engagement because we think it's okay or it's good enough, or perhaps we're totally deceived and think it's great when, according to the Gallup organization, 70% of the workers in America are disengaged at work. Get your head around that. 7 out of 10 don't care. Is it any wonder that we struggle to deliver the products and services that we promised to our customers? That's a huge problem. And leaders, I think it's their optimism that blinds them to some of the realities in their business. Third and finally, a lot of leaders sabotage, maybe not themselves, but they sabotage the future because they don't invest in leadership development. I turn heads from time to time at a leadership conference when I'm speaking, and I say that there's something that every organization needs more than leadership. And I just let that sit there because people are going, wait a minute, this is a leadership conference. He's a leadership guy. What's he saying? I'll say, yes, there's something every organization needs more than leadership. They need a leadership culture. Here's the way I define that. A leadership culture is a place where leaders are routinely and systematically developed, and you have a surplus. Now, some of you are going to say, you have a surplus, that sounds wasteful. No. That's the indicator that your systems and processes are working. You actually have more leaders than you need today, so you're ready for tomorrow's problem or opportunity. You've got a strong leadership bench. That means it's working. And so if leaders don't escape the quicksand, if they remain overly optimistic, and they fail to invest in the leadership required for tomorrow, they are sabotaging not only their success, but the success of their organization.